Alrighty. Um, okay, YouTubers, excuse me for not having any makeup on today. I'm just not really in the mood today. I kind of want to get this out while I'm up to it. Um, something keeps going through my head from when my mom was alive. She used to tell us, and I remember she used to tell me that if anything ever happens to me, you all will scatter. And it was just a small few of us who lived in that home. You know, she was a single parent working on her own, you know, taking care of all of us in there. Because I think she saw that we weren't close. She saw we weren't close. Everyone was doing their own thing. I was pretty close to my mom. My sister was always rebellious. And it was hard on my mom, all of my sister years of growing up and she having to get off work, run to the school because she's been fighting, or her attitude was just always horrible. Even right now, she's a grown, old woman, sick, and she's just something to deal with. And her daughter, which is my niece, grew up in the house with us. She's always been this horrible person. And I've always tried to build this relationship with her because I couldn't get that with my sister. I'm thinking maybe, this would be some sort of, second chance for me to be close to someone other than my mom in the house because we just really had each other. That was it. Never could we get that. Fast forward up to now, it's like I can't trust my niece. She has really gotten to this thing where she manipulates and lies and includes me in a lie. She did that with her husband most recently and pulled me into it. I had no idea I was pulled into a lie that, could have been just damning. Being that I barely feel comfortable coming over to her home. They have a family now. She's now grown and married and with her own kids. And I've been there for her ever since she started popping out kids. I don't understand why she has this hostility toward me, but she does. And it shows. She has more love and attention and friendship for her friends that, she gets together and have, meals with. She never invites me to anything. Um, I don't understand where this all came from. And I know the past couple of years, my sister, her mother, has been very ill. Um, if I want to use that as an excuse for this time her behaving so badly toward me. We can't talk on the phone without her getting so agitated. She takes her frustrations out on me. It's like she directly calls me up so that she can take her garbage and just dump it into my yard, so to speak. And it's horrible. It's really horrible. Um, what hurts mostly, um, next to my sister being ill, and I wish it was more I could do for her. But my sister has led such a hard life that, things are what they are now and it's playing its way out. But what hurts mostly is that once my mom passed away, I knew I didn't have anybody. I knew as far as family, that was my family. I knew it was over. You know, what I have, I mean, technically as family, as far as blood related, they have no feelings for me at all. Um, I mean, if anything ever happened, they wouldn't call to even check and see if I'm okay. I do get a phone call, but guaranteed the phone call is always and only for something that my niece may need. After, and that's not, that's not also not including when she gets angry enough and wants to chew me out about something stupid. You know, it's just really been hard the last couple of years dealing with this, and I kept saying I was going to do a video about it, but sometimes I said, well, should I really even bother putting this out there? But I need to do that. I need to get it out for me. Um, it's been really bad, and it hurts. And it's not like I keep this to myself. I've talked to her about it, but she likes to use the term extra sensitive or overly sensitive is what she likes to say about me in order to evade the problem that she doesn't know how to express herself to me other than to insult me. One of the terms that she used at me to hurt my feelings, and I think she was really trying to, was her when she said that I was passive. And if I was that passive, I wouldn't have gotten up to move to get out of my home to go do anything for her over the years. My mom was sick for over 7 to 8 years, and still my niece would bring the kids over on the weekends after I've worked a full-time job and taking my mom back and forth to dialysis with no concern with that. And she would still bombard my weekends, babysitting. Now I'm babysitting the kids, and I'm, you know, taking care of mom after we just got in from her treatment that she's been on the machine for hours. That happened almost every weekend out of a month. I would say 3 weekends out of a month, every month. That's what I went through. And I tried to tell her that, and she would manipulate my mother by calling her up, knowing my mom would agree to it. But my mom knew she wasn't going to take care of them because she's too sick. And being that I'm there, my niece knew the end result would be me taking care of them. So that went on for years. And fast forward that, she humiliated me in front of one of her friends in her dining room, uh, acting as though, I didn't matter. This was a year ago. I'll never forget that. And now when I see her friend, that's really all I can think of is how humiliated I was in front of my niece, in front of her friend. She never really apologizes to me either. It's this thing that she does. Like, if she really if she really feels bad, I think she bothers to buy me some Victoria's Secret lotion. And she doesn't even bother to take ownership of that. Because I think that would mean that she's sorry for how she talked to me. So she doesn't even take ownership of it. She don't want any way to look like she's apologetic in any way to me. So this is what I hear. Oh, she'll say her daughter got it for me. Her daughter is about 8 years old. Her daughter couldn't have bought it. She obviously bought it, but she just doesn't want, that's how badly she doesn't want to take ownership of her faults. So she figured she'll throw me a bottle of Victoria's Secret lotion. All is good until tomorrow when she gets snappy at me again. I truly hate going to visit them. They're supposed to be family, but I just don't feel like family around them. Um, and it's not some delusion. I stayed with them once. It was horrible. Um, I mean, I know the house was small. It really, I know that they were going through their own problems too, but it was really just horrible. And I know other people are going through what I'm going through, especially now. We are living in an age where things are getting so bad. Um, you have no way of, sometimes you just don't have anyone to talk to about the problems you're going through. Families are not as close as they used to be. Um, or you got families manipulating each other. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. I had been contemplating, I may do a video down the line too. This is me actually getting a new attitude. This is partly why I do what I'm doing now and why I'm starting this off. I had a couple of videos that I had got kicked off when I joined YouTube, but this is me doing what I'm doing right now. Like Lisa's getting a new attitude sort of thing. Um, it's got to happen, and if I don't let it happen now, then I will never do it. I spent most of my life, coming to everyone's beck and call when they needed me. Um, it's a whole thing. I'm getting a whole new attitude with my life. I've been married before. I want to get married again one day. I mean, right directly right now, I don't think I'm thinking about it at all, but, you know, that's a lot of things I need to do for me to get to that point of being happy. And I haven't been happy for a very long time, and I know I need to get there. And I've allowed my immediate family, um, like I said, who really doesn't care about me that much. If I leave here and move to another state, which I have given that some thought to, I'm actually considering that. And it's not to spite anyone, it's just that I think I need that. I've lived here in this state of quite a long time. Not to say nothing is moving for me, but I think I need a change. People do it quite often. I mean, I run into people all the time who was not born and raised here, and they made a move to do better for themselves, and I need that. Um, my sister is in good hands, being that she's with her daughter, even though it can be like a stressing thing just to take care of her. I understand that. And I don't want her in a nursing home either. But I'm also sometimes wondering, is my sister going to be taken care of very well where she is with her daughter and her family? But I can't worry about a lot of that, because I'll continue to be stagnant and not moving on. So this is my platform in order to do better, to move on, to use this as therapy, to help me. Uh, I know this is kind of boring, but wisdom will get better. But I just had to get this out of my system because this was just rock solid crazy yesterday. It was like it needed to be done. Um, I don't know. And like I said, it hurts. It hurts to try to be close to family and you just can't get any closer to them because they don't want to be. Um, I mean, I have so many times where I've seen my niece, say things to hurt me in front of other people. Um, she made a comment once. I'll never forget that. I mean, for something to stick with you so long, so many years, when you know something that you can recall like yesterday, then that affected you. Then you know it affected you. Um, I remember my ex-husband had came to the neighborhood to visit. He was sitting in her dining room. She was washing dishes. And he and I was just getting along, talking about old times. And out of the blue, she yells across into the dining room, "Oh, Lisa don't have any kids," you know. And it was like she was trying to find a way to hurt me, even though I didn't feel hurt. I felt indifferent in front of him that he's moved on and he has his family. He has a wife and children now since we've been together years ago. And he and I are still okay. We're not like your average ex husband and wife who are at each other's throats. We could speak to each other. Now, not saying that to say that me and him perhaps will go out and hang out or anything like that. I mean, in the back of my mind, I think in the past it still was something. I think he had his times where he wanted to hurt me too, emotionally, because the way things had went with us. But I know he's gotten past that. But somehow that, and now he and I can just chit chat. We can talk. But my niece wanted so badly to hurt me, to humiliate me, that she made that statement in front of him. And I can tell he felt uncomfortable because he looked directly at me and said nothing. And I can't remember right now if I said anything to her for that statement that she made. As if to say, the statement was said that, Lisa don't have any kids, because he asked me, "What are you doing these days?" He and I were just having a nice conversation. And I think she was really trying to humiliate me to let him see that I have nothing going on. That was her purpose, which I have in my life. I think I have plenty going on. I've always been working, taking care of myself. I'm not leaning on anybody. And that's an accomplishment nowadays for anybody. I mean, not to have kids does not mean you're not complete. Um, you have to be able to afford them. You have to be able to want them and so forth. And not to say I never wanted any children, but I don't want any kids out of wedlock. Growing up as a Christian, that, something I just, tried to avoid. And being married once, we weren't married long enough to even really go down that road of having children at the time. So anyway, I think she was trying to do just that, humiliate me in front of him. Wasn't the first time I really saw her behave that way, and not necessarily with him, but just other people. Like the time I'm mentioning also, like she did in front of her friend, she humiliated me. Saying these terrible things in her dining room. And I was there to take her mother home that night because her and her mother weren't getting along. And her mother was sick then. She had just not long ago got out the nursing home. And I know her mom, which is my sister, can be something hard to deal with. I guess what I'm saying, it's just, I deserve this time in my life for things to go better. For me, I do. And that's it. That's all I really got to say. I saw this movie. It was an old movie, but not ancient. But I saw this movie a while back, Queen Latifah, and I thought of me from beginning to end. And anytime it comes on, I think of it. It was Last Holiday, where Queen Latifah portrayed this character who she was extending herself way beyond her happiness to her family. And her sister in the movie, always called her up as a babysitter. She was the babysitter. It was to the point that she was not even looked at as anything else She wasn't looked at as love or anything. Her sister would call her up and say, "Hey, can you watch the kids?" Not even considering if she had anything else to do. She was ready just to drop them off and everything. I saw that in me. Um, it was the whole entire movie. It would just look like it was totally full of me. Queen Latifah, until she thought she was going to die, that was the time and that moment in time when she decided she's finally waking up from this nightmare. She's going to do some things for her. So she, cleared out her bank account because she thought she was going to die anyway. So she went out and lived it up. I have lived my life like that, being stagnant for a very long time, trying to just be responsible, take care of things, and then my mom got sick, and there I am being more responsible. So now, and I don't regret being there for her. If it had, it was, if it was like that all over again, I would be there for her. I don't regret any of that. Um, God took care of both of us when I got laid off because, and I knew that was coming because she had a lot of episodes where, and I believe a lot of women perhaps who are in my situation right now, I hope that they are watching this because you are not alone in that. It happens every day. And to take care of a loved one is a job, and it's work because you are hoping and praying and you're trying to nurse them back to health as close as healthy as they can be in order to make it. And at one point, she was getting there. She was getting there at one point until renal failure took over her completely, and it was like I couldn't do enough to get her back where she at least was, where she could function in the home by herself when I had to go to work. But I do believe that God made that happen in that way where I got laid off. And every month at the time I was renting, I was still able to pay our bills without any delay and our rent and take care of her at the same time. It worked out. Maybe other people's blessings, and He made that possible to help us. It worked out. And during that time frame, I had lost her later that year. And I saw the picture, the way I saw it is that maybe He wanted me to make sure that I was there for her to her dying breath, her last breath. So I don't have any regrets from that. And I'm glad I was there, jobless and all at that time. So, yeah. And after that, it took a lot out of me after I lost her. I mean, I can't even get into all the emotions that I went through. I can't even get into it. And I did that alone. I don't think I should have been alone, but generally, I did that alone. Um, and it's going to be definitely a definite change in my life now. At this point right now, I should not be that concerned about other family members being sort of distant, unconcerned, and you know, not caring and not being concerned on what they say to me. I mean, you don't have to walk on eggshells, but at the same time, if I have a track record of being there for you all of my adult life when you needed me, and even if you're going through a stressful time in your life, somehow I think you should be able to watch the words that come out your mouth toward me, especially when everyone else is not getting that. So that tells me only that you're able to block what you say and how you say it to your friends. The ones that you call up, say, let's go to a party. The ones you and your husband get together with and you all, have drinks with or go out and do things with, set up parties and so forth and go to. Those are the friends or people that you are more precious with because you like them. With me, somehow you just feel like I'm just a stepping stool, someone that you can do that to, because I'm going to be there the next time you call with you needing me to come over to babysit, you needing me to come over and help you with my sister, which is your mom. All of that. It's horrible how you feel in aspect like I'm just this robot with no feelings. I hate it. And I think us now being adults, whatever she did not like about me as a child, whatever it is that she never liked about me, which I to this day don't understand. She has these embedded feelings that like she just can't stand me or like me even to be cordial or kind to me. Sure, I get a thank you when I come over there and do something for her, but it's empty. It's an empty thank you because she doesn't show in any kind of way she really likes me at all. Not at all. And um, I will say on one end, I think it's good that is that she's honest with herself because that kind of encourages me more to feel good about me moving on with my life. So I don't feel like there's someone else to keep me here. I can move on. I'm going to plan on videotaping a lot of new stuff that I'm doing. And I deserve that. I just deserve that. I mean, God, I'm not old. So, I think when you get a little uncomfortable with life and how it's going, you start to feel old. But anyway, all right. So I'm going to end this blog out and just say, hey, the next video will be better. Uh, things will be better. Things will be better. I just really had to get that out of my system because it had been bugging me. And I'm hoping that I can help someone else with this because, like I say, all families are not like the Brady Bunch. And it's not, and you're trying to just work it out and all families are not big families nowadays. It's more small families these days than anything because of the economy and so forth. No one's pushing out 100 kids anymore, but it will get better. It will get better, and that's it. All right, so this is Lisa Lomax. I'm signing out, and next time I will be wearing some makeup. When you're not feeling all that great about something, you kind of ain't in the mood to put the makeup on. Anyway, all right. Thank you guys. Talk to you in a bit. Bye bye.